no scientific dictatorship. They said, does Fresco make all the decisions? No, he doesn't. I'll just tell you, no one makes decisions in the Venus Project. We take samples of the soil, send them to agricultural department, say what's best to grow in this soil. They analyze it, say by the contents of this soil, it's best to grow sugarcane for 3 years, then rotate to carrots. That's a finding, not an opinion. So we have no opinion. I believe you were brought up, believe everyone should have a right to their own opinion. Is that the way you're brought up? Okay. If I live next door to you and I see 10 guys coming out of your apartment, I can have all kinds of opinions, right? You can be a language instructor, a ballet instructor. If you give everybody a right to their own opinion without studying the facts, dangers out there. But the world you live in is so screwed up in so many areas that there's no bad language either. If you bake a pie and you drop it, you might say fiddly-dee. A guy might say shit. That means, I'm sorry I dropped the pie. There's no bad language. That's bullshit. It has nothing to do with the shit of a bull. So you have to learn the intent behind language. There used to be a book called Grammar of Motives. Why people speak to you, why they talk, and they talk at each other. Because our language was designed hundreds of years ago.
So,
who decides how cities will be built? Who decides what will be done with people? No one. First we have to do a survey of the Earth's resources and live in accordance with the carrying capacity of the Earth. Do you know what that means? If you live in a certain area that can support 50,000 people, if you have 65,000, you'll have starvation and malnutrition.
So you locate them?
We live in accordance with natural law. If you don't, man-made laws are all bullshit. 90% of them are to control people. But natural law means if you don't get enough nutrients and enough sleep, you get sick no matter what your philosophy is. So we live in accordance with natural laws, not Fresco's opinions. Just want you to understand that. And we have no government. Did you know that?
I did.
That's it, that second picture up there. See it with the globe? That is a hologram of the Earth. And it's that second picture up there. See it with the globe? That is a hologram of the Earth. And it's a hologram. You see every hurricane, every continent. Since we have satellites around the Earth, what you see is a projection of the Earth. And so if you know the temperature all over the world, and for 3,000 miles in space, if you photograph the Earth, plant diseases in the Amazon show up as red. So you can see all the plant diseases all over the world. We don't need government anymore. That was good 100 years ago. Computers, I told you, can handle 1,000 trillion bits of information per second. No humans can do that. When I was a kid, a guy would look out of an airplane saying about a mile high. You know what Doppler radar is? Sends a signal to the Earth and back. No human can do that.
Right.
This is machine takeover. Machines are being assigned different projects because they're faster and better than man.
So who assigns the Venus Project machines?
Who designs them?
Or no, who programs the Venus Project machines?
Oh, first a survey is done. How many cases of tuberculosis, cystic fibrosis, heart disease? That determines how many hospitals we build. See, not Fresco. I think I'll build a hospital for that. It's all based on surveys. Now, the survey committee has no authority over anyone. They just come back and say, there's so much arable land area on Earth today, and we can support 15 billion people, no more than that, until we devise a new agricultural system. So our decision-making is forced by conditions that exist, not a bunch of senators, what do you think, what do you think, what do you think? That's good 100 years ago, before we had access. You have a laptop? All right. Machines have no ambition. They don't want to take over. That's bullshit. People, roboticists today are so stupid. They say someday machines will take over. If you take your laptop and smash it in front of 50 computers, they don't say, we'll get you if it isn't this week or next week. They don't give a shit. This is a human attribute. Humans kill people. Humans pollute the air. Humans drop bombs over cities. Humans operate guided missiles. It isn't the machines.
So, if you were having one of your surveyors say they wanted to play a joke and put in the wrong information?
Okay. That would mean that the person isn't very well mentally. We'll help them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We don't arrest anybody. There's no capital punishment and no charity because there's no poor anymore. All the slums are cleaned out. There are no old women living in an old house too weak to serve it, to clean the dishes. No, we have places for them.
So you will find
Everyone.
You will find out if they messed up, right?
When they're very young. You do that in school, clean them out. You don't wait till they grow up as a son of a bitch or a mean person.
Yeah. What? How will you? Okay, so you will find out that they messed up eventually, like if they put in the wrong
We can
information.
find
For
out
sure.
in school. See, what we do is we run motion pictures of children swimming nude, and it's an automatic camera built to photograph the eye movement. If it moves toward the kid's genitals continuously, you know what I mean? We know that kid needs help early.
Really? Okay.
See, we don't tell them. We don't say, hey, you goddamn creep, or you faggot, or we don't get mad at anybody. It's not our job to judge them. It's our job to help them.
So no one would feel that would be
Jesus
invasive.
associated with beggars, bums, prostitutes, and he said they used to stone a woman that had sex prior to marriage. And he said he or she who is without sin, let him cast the first stone. See, these little people put themselves on pedestals. They're not sane enough to understand the teachings of Christ. Christ was a nice guy, but he wasn't that bright. He didn't know how to increase the agricultural yield. Then he insulted God. Now, a priest said, I don't remember Christ insulting God. You know that story? Okay.
So, let me get this straight. You think the problem of the surveyor wouldn't be a problem, playing a joke on the system because you can get them at an early age?
There's not one surveyor.
No, I know there's a lot, but say one of them, the one that wanted to play the joke. You say...
There is no one surveyor. There's a whole group doing a survey.
So they have to keep an eye on each other while they're...
No, they don't keep an eye on each other. We clean out those attitudes when they're very young.
Okay.
For example, I don't like hard rock. Now, I wouldn't outlaw it. But if you educate people out of it into other areas, that's all.
Okay.
Who decides what subject matter is important? Well, suppose a girl designs an airplane with a swept forward wing, and another girl with swept back. Who decides which one we build? We build swept forward, swept back. We don't know. Let's try it out. Why should we make a choice? You do that in the money system because you have limited funds. So you have to make a choice. We have enough resources to do anything we want to do. We can make all the electron microscopes, give them to every lab instead of digging up nickels and dimes. Also, we use the North and South Pole. Do you know about that? All the nations that grow food superfluous to their needs, we dehydrate and store them in the North and South Pole in canisters under the ice. So if there's a terrible earthquake in Japan, they don't go to schools. They bring in a box of oatmeal for the poor Japanese. We have thousands of tons of food stored for earthquakes and things like that. It's a very different kind of country. It's a different world with different values. You can't operate with these values. They were good 100 years ago. But the kind of people in control like what they've got, and they try to keep things as they are. That's why you elect people to government, that people selected who will keep things as they are.
Yeah. And what do we do to change it, you think? Do we do stuff like, learn about the Venus Project? Do you think that'll change?
It's an economic breakdown. Today we're getting 600 people a day sending letters into the Venus Project. We want to know more about it. But there are many people that project their own values into the Venus Project. So there's probably a dictatorship of scientists or